Going on, Washington Football Nation? It's your guy Rio back again for another episode where we ramble about Washington. We got Viva Las Vegas this week, so I'm bringing my guy on, my guy Graf, who runs a large, impressive Raiders channel on YouTube, coming up on 12,000 subscribers. What's going on, big dog?
First of all, I just want to tell you guys this, there's only one nation, man, you know what I mean? And that's behind me, you know what I'm saying? I'm just messing. Hey, shout out to Rio, man. Appreciate you for having me on, my brother. I've checked out your stuff as well. You are growing every day, man, and I love to see it, my brother. I'm definitely going to be here for the rest of your journey, man, checking you out, man. So shout out to you, my brother, for real, man.
Hell
Thank you
yeah,
for having me.
man. Appreciate it, man. I appreciate what you're doing as well. And I appreciate the stuff you're hitting on outside of football with mental health, mental wellness, and stuff like that, because that shit is so key. And it's more than just a trendy talking topic, you know?
Definitely. And as a Washington football team fan and as a Raider fan, we definitely deal with mental health every year. So,
Hell yeah.
so it's easy for me to talk on it, man. But I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much, man. It means a lot.
Hell yeah, glad you came on. And yeah, y'all taking the crown for drama from us this year, because we're usually the ones, we lead in the circus this year. We got Gruden, Ruggs, Arnett. What's going on in Vegas, man?
Well, let me say this. Whatever happened in Vegas, that started in Washington, D.C.
It did.
You know what I mean? So hey, look, I've been calling this all week long. #email game. This is we need some revenge because Del Rio, he wants his issue because he grew up in Hayward, grew up a Raider fan. The way we let him go and brought in Gruden, I know he wants all the smoke with us, and we want our smoke as well because of the whole Gruden debacle. So crazy year, man. It sucks to see such a great young talent like Henry Ruggs. Look, one thing I'm gonna say is shout out to Tina, R.I.P. to her. The young lady that passed away.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Shout out to the nation, man. We raised a lot of money for her funeral services. Our fan base is just, man, one of the greatest fan bases in the world. And Henry Ruggs, man, he made a mistake. He was a really good kid before that, man. I'm really rooting for him and his family outside of this because it's just definitely sad, man. But we've dealt with a lot of things, man. But at the end of the day, bro, there's no excuses. We're still 6-5. We're still in the thick of things. And we're both right now actually in the thick of things.
Hell yeah.
The playoff, you know what I mean? So, hey, with everything going on with you guys, with the injuries and all that other stuff, we're both just still blessed to still be in the hunt.
Hell yeah, despite all the turmoil. I know on our side, we got the investigation with all the sexual harassment stuff. We're in the middle of a name change. We had a DEA raid a month ago. Y'all got all y'all got going on, but y'all are only one game back from the division lead in the AFC West. And over here, if Dallas loses tonight and we beat y'all on Sunday, we're a game back and playing Dallas for first place next week. So it's crazy how that shit works. The NFL is wild as hell.
Same thing, brother. Like if Denver beats KC and we beat you guys, we go into Arrowhead next week and the first place is up for grabs. So
hell yeah.
And
y'all still got your whole division left on the schedule too, right?
Yeah. So we have a lot of conference games. We got the Chargers, we got KC, Denver one more time. We have the Browns who's still in the hunt, the Colts who are still in the hunt. So we have a lot of conference games that we need to win in order to still make this thing work. I think 10-7 actually get you in the playoffs this year, man. Because look, the AFC is not the AFC it used to be. These guys are losing left and right, and we got some tiebreakers over the Ravens, over the Dolphins. They're 5-7. They're actually surging right now. We have one over the Steelers, but they're kind of going downhill right now. But it's very interesting. This year has been very, very weird, man.
It's a very weird NFL year. That's what makes the NFL the greatest reality show on TV. The parody's crazy. There's a ridiculous upset every week, man. This shit is wild, but it's like, so you're in Texas now. You're living in Dallas now, you said.
Yes.
You're from California originally. Are you from the Bay?
Born and raised in Northern California, Sacramento to be exact.
Okay.
So yeah, I grew up in Oco, man. I'm a diehard Raiders, diehard A's fan. I grew up watching these guys in my backyard. But yeah, man, the Vegas thing, it still hurts for me to even put this on sometimes because I'm like, we're always going to be open. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I was going to get to, because I was like, did a piece of you like die inside, or did you want to leave or abandon ship a little bit when y'all took that move to Vegas?
Hey, man, when I was born, we were in LA. Then we moved back to Oakland. At this point, I'm just used to it. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
as long as the shield is around, bro, I'll forever be a Raider, man. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter where we go. You know?
It's crazy all the parallels I could draw between what our two teams are going to, because we're about to have a new name. Like, this is new and this is about to go. We're about to have a new name in about a month or two. And
Yeah.
I see people ready to jump off ship and stuff because of the name. Like, man, at the end of the day, your squad is your squad, man. You got to
Yep.
ride with your team regardless. But let's talk about this matchup we got on Sunday. And
do
I
it.
want to start with the quarterback comparison, because I see you be having smoke for Derek Carr. I would love to have a Derek Carr here. What's
know.
your qualms with Carr?
You know, a lot of teams would love to have a Derek Carr, to be honest. I'm very hard on him because I know how great he can be. It's all about consistency. That's all it is, man. We've gone 8 years. I'll give him 2016. He actually led this team to the playoffs with a 12-4 record. He broke his ankle 2 weeks before the playoffs, so he still led us to the playoffs. I'll give him that. But it's just been a long time, bro. It's just we're so up and down. One day, DC looks like the greatest quarterback in the world, and then a week later, he just looks average at best. And then the following week, he's terrible, and then he's right back to MVP candidate. It's just I just want consistency, man. You know what I mean? And DC has had to deal with a lot. He has, man. The never-ending revolving door, coaching carousel, terrible defenses. You know, we finally got a serviceable defense this year, and now our O-line, it was taking, you know, the first 3 weeks, it was really bad, but it's getting better and better week in and week out. You know, losing your number one weapon in Henry Ruggs outside of Waller. You know, Waller's really kind of actually having a down year in his terms, because, I mean, Waller's a great top 3 tight end. But he's having a down year statistically from what he's used to. DC has had a very, 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 you know, tough time. But it's just a divide within the nation, man. Half of us want him gone. Half of us want him to stay. The only reason I say I want him gone is because it just hasn't worked. I want to win. That's what it's all about. I know that he leads the league right now in passing yards. That is great. I'm very happy for him, but that's just not. I want to win. You know what I mean? And I'm a firm believer in energy, my brother. Like, if DC just can't get it done and we consistently say, well, we know what he can do, to me, it's just not happening right now. You know what I mean? And look, I know the Washington football team would love to have DC.
Hell yeah, y'all could ship that man straight to Washington at the end of the season.
I say this year in and year out, if you went to Indianapolis, if you put Derek Carr on this year's Cleveland Browns team with that O-line and that run game and that defense, they'll win the championship. You know what I mean? So that lets you know how much I know Derek Carr is really good. It's just I'm at the point now where either take us to the playoffs or let's just hit the reset button. You know what I mean? Because I know what DC can do. 3-time Pro Bowler, monster, former MVP candidate. If he balls out these next few weeks, he's right back in talks of being an MVP candidate, especially with the Gruden, Damon Arnett, Henry Ruggs situation back to back and still being able to string some wins together. You know what I mean? But I just know what he can do. He can be very great, and sometimes he's very average, and it just kills me sometimes, man. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, I feel you, and you gotta be rightfully critical of your own players. We do that with Chase Young here, and people get upset. Oh, we're hating on our own player. Like, nah, you know what these dudes are capable of. We went through that same situation that y'all went through with Carr with Kirk Cousins, except we played the stupid franchise tag game, which the team never wins if you give a guy multiple franchise tags. But man, right now, we have a good story at quarterback, Taylor Heineke. He's been having a good month. He's fun. He's someone you want to rally behind, but he's no Derek Carr. So I would definitely give y'all the advantage in this game, especially considering we have one of the worst, well, for the most of the season, we've had one of the worst pass defense. Carr leads the league in passing yard. Waller's out for sure Sunday, right?
It's looking like he's not going to play. And to be honest, I'm good with that. The offense showed up without him against Dallas. We threw the ball all over the place. D. Jax with over 100 yards.
Man.
Hunter Renfrow with over 100 yards. I think Zay Jones had about 60, 70 as well. Look, DC flung that thing all over the place. This is definitely a game where if DC doesn't throw for 300 yards, we're definitely going to lose this game. He's 6-0 when he throws for over 300. We need DC to bring that because we have not been able to establish a run game, and you guys are one of the best teams against the run. That defensive tackle room that you guys have, I'm very jealous of you guys in terms of that. If you guys had our edge rushers with Max and Yannick, you guys would literally have the best defensive line in the league.
And it sucks because we have 2 first-round studs, but they're both hurt, and they both have underachieved this year. Meanwhile, Max and Yannick are going crazy. They've combined for about 14 sacks this year?
Yeah, and they've been leading the league in pressures all year long. You know, so these guys are having a hell of a year. It sucks. I wanted to play you guys at full strength. I wanted to see what Montez Sweat. I wanted to see Chase Young. I wanted to play you guys like that. You know what I mean? But will I take it? Because our O-line has been suspects. I'm going to take it. Look. Those guys are gone. I want to get this W by any means necessary. But, yeah, man, at the end of the day, for sure, look, not being Raider biased, DC is definitely – we definitely have the advantage at quarterback. For sure.
100% y'all do. It's just, I mean, you say you want to play us at full strength. Honestly, you're seeing us at full strength off the strength that since the bye week, since Sweat and Chase got hurt, this is the best we've played all year, which is stupid. It makes me so upset because I'm not going to be that guy to say we're better without our 2 first-round bookends. Yeah. But we've been better since then. I don't know what Ron did over the bye week, but he chewed Del Rio's ass out, the rest of the team, and we look like a new squad. We came off the bye week. We beat Tampa. We beat Cam in his reunion, and we got Seattle on Monday night. And Monday night is a place we never win, bro. We were 5-23 in our last 28 Monday night football games, and we had lost 9 in a row coming into Monday. So,
well, you know, you guys – Seattle's a very bad team this year. And to be honest, I did a whole live stream on that game, and I was watching it. I was actually shocked because this is one of the questions I wanted to ask you. Why only 17 points against Seattle, man? Like, that defense is really, really bad.
It's bad.
What did you see that was good and bad in that game? Don't get me wrong, the W, that's all that matters.
I know. Of course. I'll take it because you don't get style points for it. But when we lost our kicker, we had to settle on a lot of drives in the second half. And the score looks different if Logan Thomas comes down with that touchdown at the end that came back. Like, I was at the stadium. We was going crazy when it happened. As soon as the replay came out, I was like, damn, he didn't catch that shit. But, like, we got our kicker hurt on a block extra point run back on the last play of a half. There's certain things that happen that I swear only happens to this fucking franchise. Like, that shit is hilarious.
Hey, bro, as a Raider fan, trust me, I know, bro. I know, bro. I know. Trust me, I know.
Hell yeah, but we definitely should have put up more points on them boys. And Russell Wilson, I don't know what's going on with him. He doesn't look right. It looked like his days in Seattle might be numbered. Man. So what's your plan? What's your plan in Vegas if y'all let Carr go? You want to draft a guy or you want to make a big trade for a big name guy?
Look, at this point, man, I mean, all of us I want an elite quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. But if we can't get one, if we can't get a Russell Wilson, you know, A-Rod's going to go somewhere. I think he'll end up in Denver or Pittsburgh once he leaves Green Bay. You know, I would love to have one of those elite guys, but we have not really drafted a starting caliber quarterback since DC. And before that, it was pretty much Jamarcus Russell. You know what I mean? So, and he was terrible. So at some point, I feel like we need to bring in some young blood. In a perfect world, you bring back DC next year. You go get one of these young guys and you groom them a little bit, which I don't think DC deserves that. I think that DC definitely deserves to be a franchise guy somewhere. In a perfect world, though, DC, just lead us to the playoffs this year, and I'll shut up. That's it. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to hit the reset button and go get a young quarterback that we have to and base it off potential. I don't want to do that. But I do like Malik Willis over at Liberty. I love his game. I know he has. I
like him too.
You know, I know he has a little bit of. He's not in the passing game. He has some things to work on, but you know, I definitely love him. If we can get him, man, like I'm not turning that down. I'm sorry. You know, it is. I love these dual threat QBs now, man. The days of the pocket passers are kind of
fading.
Still, you know, yes, they're fading away. And don't get me wrong, Tom Brady won one last year. He's still a pocket. You know, he's always been a pocket pass, but he's been blessed to have great defenses year in and year out and great weapons around him. But Russell Wilson, you know, he's got a ring. A-Rod's got a ring. These guys can get around and move around. DC actually showed that, though, last week. This is why I scream so much about DC, because I know he can use his legs. I know he can use his legs. He broke off for like a 22-yarder, which he probably could have got a little even more than that against Dallas last week. I watched him at Fresno State. I mean, the guy, he's fast. He just – sometimes I know his skill set. And it's just like, use everything. You know what I mean? But let me say this. There's one thing that I'm afraid of you guys right now, and Gibson, man. Like Memphis, right? I watched him in college. Like Gibson is a beast, bro. McKissick is out now, right? With a concussion, right?
Yeah, he's out this week with a concussion, which hurts because he's actually I swear he's the more consistent back, which is crazy because Gibson's the lead guy. But yeah, we finally gave him a full workload on Monday night. We gave him 36 touches. We never do that. I guess they figured out something. Ever since we benched him in Carolina, he's running crazy right now, man.
And he had like 111 on the ground. Didn't he have like 20 or 30 also in a receiving game? Somewhere around there. So he balled out. But you guys can always you can always move that Swiss Army knife Curtis Samuels. Like he could play running back, he can be wide receiver. I mean, he did it at Ohio State, he did it in Carolina. Like you guys have some weapons. McLaurin, that's my guy, bro.
Yeah,
like
that's my dude, man.
Every year I get him in fantasy, and he always kills it for me. He's killing it for me right now. It hurts my soul that I'm going to actually start him this week.
Yeah, go ahead and start him. Who's matching up with Terry this weekend?
I think you put Casey. You have to put Casey Hayward on him.
Okay,
you know
Casey Hayward and Terry. I like it.
Yeah, man. Casey's he's been balling this year. He's kind of returned to that old rare form, and that doesn't usually happen when you're 32, 33 years old. But Casey's been having a hell of a year, so I want to see that matchup definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. Terry's a baller, man. He works on his craft. Like I say it every week that we don't deserve him because he's in his third year. We've made this man play with 9 quarterbacks in 3 years, and he still produces every single damn year, man. Like I'm excited to see that. I know I'm terrified of Deshaun Jackson right now because it looked like he's got his mojo back. He's playing for the Raiders now, the team he grew up watching. Like, man, on Thanksgiving, that frightened me because it's either he's getting a deep ball or he's going to get the flag every time because I don't really see who's running with him.
And think about this. The week prior when we lost to KC, or the 2 weeks ago, like he actually had a easy shoe-in touchdown. He just tried to do too much and fumbled the ball.
He does that a lot.
D-Jax is definitely back in that rare form. He's actually, I don't know if you've seen it, he showed up on the injury report. This has been D-Jax's MO. I guess he's dealing with nursing a calf injury. He's limited, but it looks like he's still going to play. I just hope that, he can come back because I want to bring D-Jax back another year. I don't care. 35 years old. So what? He wants to retire a Raider. Yeah. We need that speed. I mean, look, this was I feel like God threw us a bone with this. You lose Henry Ruggs. Deshaun Jackson asks to get out in Los Angeles, his hometown, and a winning team. And boom, he just falls right into our lap. So I think that DC, man, when he has a deep threat like that, sky's the limit, man. And Zay Jones has been showing up. We have a lot of speed that a lot of other guys don't really know about. Waller's fast as hell for a tight end. He's really a wide receiver, and that's really what it is. He's really our true number one. Zay Jones is fast as hell. We actually went and got Tyron Johnson. He ran like a 4.43. I think that he may be brought up this weekend. I'm not sure. So don't quote me on that. But we have a lot of speed, and Hunter Renfrow is one of the best route runners in the NFL.
He's such a slept-on baller, man. Imagine the things he could do in New England. They love their white slot receivers.
White slot guys. Yep. Facts. But he's been mixing people left and right. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
So usually I would say this is a game that me personally, I'm like, we should win this game. Like we should win it. We've been so inconsistent, brother. And you guys 3 in a row. All the momentum is in your guys' favor right now. Even though it's on the road, we have not played good at Allegiant Stadium at all. I've went out there to Vegas a few times this year. We beat the Ravens. I was there. We lost to the Bears. I was there. We play kind of actually better on the road. You know what I mean? So I'm not even going to make a prediction for this game because
I was just about to go there.
I'm not. All I can do is say I hope we win. But we're so inconsistent, and this is no shade to your team. I just feel like we should win this game. Like,
yeah, y'all. I think y'all a bit better team than us.
On paper, and in the first 3 weeks of the season, we showed that. But we're so inconsistent, man. We lost to the Giants, we lost to the Bears, and then we go beat other playoff teams. It's just to me, it doesn't make any sense. So I'm not I'm gonna be honest, you guys scare the shit out of me right now.
We got momentum going on our side, and
Definitely.
this is actually the game that if we're gonna lose one right now, this would be the one I'd want to lose because after we play y'all, I don't know what the schedule makers was on when they made our schedule. We end the year on 5 straight division games. We
Yeah.
go Dallas, Philly, New York to end the season. So being 2 games back from Dallas, we have them twice. We got Philly twice, and we got New York. We have a real opportunity. So literally playing the Vegas team, we could be playing with house money if we get a dub this weekend. I don't know how I want to call it yet either. I feel like it's going to be like a 24-23 game. I don't know who's going to win though. I have no idea.
Hey, look, I mean, because our team, we'll go put up 36 on Dallas, and then we'll go put up 14 or 16 on the Giants, and I don't know what team is showing up. And
yeah, y'all did lose to the Giants,
bro, to the Giants, bro.
Daniel Jones.
we beat Dallas, we beat Philly, we gave y'all some help this year. I'll tell you that.
Oh hell yeah, y'all doing God's work for us right now.
Yeah, you know. So and you guys almost had the Chargers week 1. I thought you guys.
Gibson fumbled, man, inside our own 5, and we gave Herbert the walk-in touchdown to win the game. We had him, man.
But you know, I just, brother, like I said, I think this is a game we should win. But every time I go in with that cockiness and that confidence, we end up just getting shredded. So I think it is going to be more like that, a 24-23, 28-27 type game. Because that's the kind of games we play. We make games closer all the time than what we get so conservative late in games, and we allow teams back into games. Like, just let DC play his game. If we let DC go out there and throw the ball around, I don't know if you've seen his presser yesterday, but he said, Greg Olson, our offensive coordinator, he said, is there anything that you don't like? And DC said, all the run plays. You know what I mean? I don't like them. But I like that from DC because that's what I'm looking for from our quarterback. Like, Josh Jacobs has not been able to get his run game going. I know he had like 88 yards last week. That's been the best that he's probably done all season long. Kenyon Drake has been pretty much non-existent. I thought he was a huge pickup in the offseason.
Had to drop him in fantasy, man.
Bro, because look, he was supposed to be that joker, that Lynn Bowden Jr. that we drafted in the 3rd round a few years ago that we ended up not even seeing
him.
Yeah, like I thought he was going to be one of our red zone threats, and we're one of the worst red zone teams in the league. You know what I mean? Like, it's just we live giving Daniel Carlson threes. I can't stand it, man, because we have so much talent on the offense side of the ball. Waller, even though he's gone, we have Foster Moreau. That's a guy that you guys definitely have to keep an eye on. I'm telling you that he's very, very, very underrated, man. He's put up some big games for us. Foster Moreau is definitely one of those guys. This week is going to be the week of wild card guys for me. It's going to be Kenyon Drake. It's going to be Foster Moreau. I think we need big games from those guys, those that really haven't been playing too well, in order for us to win this game. Because one thing about DC is he gets everybody involved. It's not always just this one player. You know, don't get me wrong. Week 1, Waller got 19 targets. I mean, that was insane to me. He force-fed the hell out of Waller. But now you don't have your safety blanket. You don't have Waller. We're going to have to fling it all over the place. And I think that getting Kenyon Drake, getting Foster Moreau, I think that'll keep your defense a little, like, oh, shit, what's going on? You know what I mean? Kind of off, kind of off balance a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at those guys for big games. And Kenyon in the pass game, not in the run game. You guys are a stout defense against the run. So Jacobs, I'm not expecting too much out of him. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of over the whole run game period at this point. We're a pass heavy team, and that's your weakness. And if we don't exploit that this week, I don't know how to call this team moving forward. I don't.
This is a really hard game to predict, and I actually think this is going to be one of the better games of the weekend with such heavy playoff implications on both sides and both conferences. Yo, what's that stadium like, man? Because it looks beautiful from everything I've seen so far.
I'll tell you this, coming from Oakland Coliseum, that's literally the worst stadium you probably ever go to in your life.
Nah, FedEx Field giving that run for its money, bro. I promise you, bro.
Oakland Coliseum looked like a penitentiary, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that was our piece of shit. We loved it. You know what I'm saying? But going to Allegiant Stadium, it's the best thing you'll ever see in your life. But
looks nice.
The thing that scares me about Allegiant Stadium is it's going to be 50-50. you guys have real fans. It's going to be half Washington football team, half Raiders,
I
because
can relate.
I'm telling you, yeah, like that would have never happened in Oakland. It would have never happened. It would have been all Raider fans and maybe a few of you guys scattered in because motherfuckers are scared to wear this shit in Oakland Coliseum. You know what I mean? Vegas is a tourist attraction, and it's been 50-50.
Yeah.
The Bears game, they pretty much took over our you know what I mean, Allegiant Stadium. The Baltimore Ravens, I didn't even know that many Ravens fans existed until week 1. You know, so
oh yeah, they're out here.
Yeah, but I love this stadium, but right now we have no home field advantage at all.
Hey, I know the feel. Hey, man, it's crazy how much shit I can relate. Y'all like the AFC us because this is the same shit. Like I was there on Monday. I'm a season ticket holder. Our stadium gets full the fuck up of opposing teams fans every week. We're trying so hard to win back home field advantage, and we don't have a nice stadium. So at least y'all got that on y'all side.
We're both kind of living off our history, right? We both got a bunch of rings that we kind of just hang our hats on, and then shit the bed every year, and we have terrible stadiums. Yeah, but
you know the history.
Yeah, definitely. But no, we definitely have one of the best stadiums. I live in Dallas. AT&T is insane. The Cowboy Stadium is definitely crazy. But I've been around, and we definitely have the best facility in the NFL. Period. But the product has to be there. The product has to be there week in and week out. So you know, we definitely deserved it because of what we came from. And I think, you know, I hear a lot of bad things about your field as well. A bunch of my boy Phil, he actually reports for you for a lot of DC area sports. And he said you guys have like a plumbing problem or some shit, or like,
man, yeah, we had some pipes burst week 1. We had a sprinkler issue on Monday and shit. It took us about 20 years. It took Ron Rivera coming in here and saying, let's put some real goddamn grass on the field because it was dirt painted green for 20 years, man.
That is crazy, bro. Well, yeah, hey, we definitely share the same pain with our prior stadium. Hey, let me ask you this. If you had to say, if there's 3 players that we need to keep an eye on that you guys have, I mean, is it pretty much, is it McLaurin and Gibson and just Samuels, or is there some other guys, hidden gems that you guys have that we need to keep an eye on?
Defensively, pay attention to our safety, Cameron Curl. Cam Curl, he was our 7th round pick last year, came on the scene, ended up starting midway through the season with 4 picks last year. He's probably the best player on that defense past the defensive line. He's really good. He flies all over the field. He covers. Landon Collins is a linebacker now, and he's finally living his best life as a linebacker because he wasn't cutting it for us as a safety. So watch our safety combo. And as far as offense is concerned, we have Logan Thomas and Curtis Samuel back. We've missed them for weeks. They just came back on Monday and both seem relatively healthy. And we have a rookie running back, Jared Patterson, DC boy, the one who ran for like 508 touchdowns in a game in college last year. With JD McKissick out, y'all will probably be seeing a decent dose of him. So that's somebody you definitely want to pay attention to.
I forgot you had him. I forgot because I had him in a few of my mock drafts. He's a beast. Damn, that's somebody we got to keep an eye on for sure.
We called him as soon as the draft. Yeah, Buffalo. We called him as soon as the draft was over, and he was the first undrafted player we signed this year. That's DC crazy. Boy, man, it's crazy. He went to school with high school with Chase Young and shit.
So that's correct. We both went and got a Buffalo boy. You guys got Patterson. We got Malcolm Kuntz, our 3rd round defensive end, and it looks like he'll be getting, for the first time all year, he'll be getting some play because Nassib is nursing a knee injury. It looks like he'll be out. So keep an eye on Malcolm Kuntz as well. Young, hungry guy, Buffalo product. A lot of people tried to compare him to Khalil Mack because of the Buffalo, but he's not a Khalil Mack. But he's nice. He's nice. I'm excited to see what he can do. If Max and Yannick, though, can keep pressure on your QB, one thing I like about Heinicke is the guy will hold on to the ball until the last second. That can be good and bad. It can be good and bad. You know what I mean? Because
it pisses me off.
If you survey the field and you give you guys enough time to get open, that's great. But when you're playing against Yannick and Max, these guys are going to get to you. And there's another guy that you probably heard of, Solomon Thomas, that's been having a career year, and he's been balling. Got to keep tabs on him because it's the most sacks he's had, I believe, in his career. Definite career resurgence with us. The Niners had him playing out of position. They had him at D end. He's definitely a defensive tackle. You know what I mean? So keep an eye on Solomon Thomas. But I think if we can get pressure on you guys and make Heineke, you know what I'm saying? Just get him nervous back there. I believe that we'll be okay.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh
don't
no, I forgot one too. DeAndre Carter. DeAndre Carter. That's someone you want to pay attention to because previously in his career, no touchdowns. He was only a kick return, punt return option. He's like our number 2 receiver this year. He got about 4 touchdowns on the year, and he's a big target we pay attention to on third down. So definitely keep your eyes on number 1. You won't miss him.
Okay, bet. So your prediction is, I mean, look, we know I'm a Raider. You're a Washington football team guy. You guys winning, right?
24-23. I think I'm going to lean to us winning just to keep the ball rolling. We got 3 in a row since the bye week. Until they show me that they're going to revert back to the ways of old again, I'm going to ride the high horse. I'm going to pick the dub, 24-23 Washington.
See, the reason why the reason why I'm so nervous is I watched that Tampa Bay game. And to be honest, that game really wasn't close to me the entire time.
It wasn't.
I'm sitting there like, holy shit, like they're really going to dog walk the Super Bowl champs. If that team comes out, look, man, I don't know. I'm sitting back like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? But if DC gets the ball rolling early, one thing that we need to do is we need to go out and put up 7 quick because that was a knock on this team early on in the season. We could not, under Gruden, we could not score on the first drive. It was just we started off so slow, and the DC always had to bring us back. You don't want the game to be close in a fourth down in a fourth quarter situation because DC 2-minute drill, he will pick you guys apart.
Real deal quarterback, man.
Yeah,
I can't. I know what he's about. Trust me. I watch Derek Carr closely because when we were talking, when we have these, we constantly talk quarterbacks here because I've seen about 40 starting quarterbacks since 2000 as a fan here, and we've never had a guy get to his second contract. So I'm not used to competent quarterback play. So Carr is someone I have my eyes on if we go shoot our shot at another team's quarterback this year. But yeah, man, I expect a good game on Sunday. Oh, before you go, I wanted to know, who do you think should be y'all's coach next year now that Gruden's gone?
First of all, you know what? Fuck it. 28-24 us.
Hey, okay. 28-24. That sounds realistic.
I got to do it. Next year, man, you know, I want a young, fresh mind. I want somebody that, even if they come from the college level, I don't really care. I mean, even if it's Kellen, you know, Moore, you know what I'm saying, over there in Dallas. You know what I mean? I'll take that. Byron Leftwich is my number 1 option.
Boy, DC boy.
Yeah, look, bro, I love Byron Leftwich. Even when he played in the NFL, he's just so knowledgeable. I think that even if DC comes back, he still has 1 more year left on his contract, and it's cheap. I think he's owed like $19 million next year. Mm-hmm. And I definitely think because of the DC connection, I think Davante Adams will be a Raider next year. I'm telling you now, they're best friends. They went to Fresno State together. I think Davante will be a Raider next year. So
hey, that's fire.
I think Byron Leftwich would work wonders with DC. That's who I want. My number 1 is 1A and 1B. It's going to be Byron Leftwich 1A, Kellen Moore probably 1B. And then you can look at DeBall, you know, the offensive coordinator in Buffalo. You can go look at Joe Brady, Carolina. There's some guys, but I want Byron Leftwich or Kellen Moore if we don't go the college young mind route. I want somebody that's going to get creative. One thing I love about Andy Reid, he's up there in age, but he still does new things. He reinvents the wheel, and it hurts my soul to say that because I hate the Chiefs. But, you know, you bring in a fresh mind like Eric Bieniemy. These guys draw up all these crazy plays when you're seeing the tight end behind center. It's just so much cool, crazy shit. I want somebody that's going to be creative that can do that. So what we have now is not going to work. Richie B is a special teams coach. He doesn't need to be a head coach. He was thrusted into this position. Trust me, I don't think Richie B wanted this because even since he's came in, our special teams has even took a hit. Last week, we gave up a 100-yard kick return to Tony Pollard because I think that Richie B has not been able to focus on special teams, and it's kind of showed these past few weeks. But Byron Leftwich would be my number 1 guy personally. But I just want to win, man. That's it. I just want to win.
I know. Me too, man. Me too. That's why ultimately, like, we're going through this back and forth all the time with this name change shit we got going on. Man, just call us the Washington winners, goddammit. I want us to win. I've never in my life seen us win 11 games. I've never seen the NFC Championship. I was born the year we won our last Super Bowl in 91. Bruh, I don't know what success is like as a fan yet.
That is crazy that you said that because I was born 2 days before we beat you guys in 84.
That's crazy.
That was the last. That was the last. I never experienced the Super Bowl win either.
This shit is wild.
I was like 2 days old when we won it, and then since then it's just been a shit show outside of 2001, 2002. So yeah, bro, I trust me, bro, we have a lot more in common than I thought, brother. But
hell yeah, man.
Hey, look, anything. I live in Dallas, so trust me. After this game, I'm rooting for you guys because I do not want to see Dallas be anywhere near the playoffs, anywhere near that, because I just love to see these guys hurt. Sometimes misery loves company, and fuck it, I'm gonna be that guy. I want the Cowboys to die a miserable death every year because I live here. So, but yeah, man, I'm excited about this game. I'm nervous. You got, like I said, the momentum is all in your favor, and there's no home field advantage at all, you guys. This is gonna be a split down the middle, probably audience. So I'm telling you now, this can go either way. I just, I'm a Raider. I got to go my way. I know you got to lean your way.
Hell yeah.
I'm hoping for a really good game. Don't get me wrong. I'm actually hoping we blow y'all out. That would be great.
Shit, me too. We don't do that though.
we need one of those statement wins. We have not had one in a long time. But
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. But, hey, my brother, I appreciate it. And I'm gonna put this on my channel as well, and definitely put your link in the comment section and let everybody over there in the nation know to follow you as well, man. Shout out to you, Rio, for reaching out to me, brother. I never do this. I'm telling you, I've had Bronco guys reach out to me. I've had the Philadelphia Eagles. And I told them all, I'm all I am is Raider content. I don't do the other teams. But shout out to Rio. He was persistent, and he was like, "Let's do this." So I said, you know what? I'm gonna break the mold of what I usually do.
I appreciate that, man.
And I'm gonna do this, man. So shout out to Rio for getting me out of my shell and saying, you know what? Let's do something different, man.
Hell yeah, real recognize real. And when I was going through Raiders content, I was like, nah, man, this dude keeps it a buck. This is the one I need to get on the show. I appreciate you coming on and chopping it up with me. If you need somebody to come on after the game at some point to talk about what happened, if you ever want to collab just to see what's going on in DC, because like you said, we can relate in a lot of off the field shit with our two organizations, man.
So I do a live stream for the game on Sunday, and then I do an after show, and we do a pre-show as well. So I will send you an invite to pull up after the game, and let's talk about it.
Hell yeah, man. Let's do it, man.
My brother, man. Appreciate you for having me, man. I want to say good luck to you guys, but I wouldn't mean it. So, Raiders. That's all I know, baby.
And all I know is how the hell to the nameless football team. Deuces. Good looks, man.
My brother.